The night shift I never should have taken. I had just landed a night shift at an old, abandoned police station. I was a newly graduated cop and needed a job to get started. That's when a post on Twitter caught my attention. Night shift for police officers at an abandoned precinct. Pay $1,000 per night. The amount shocked me. I messaged them immediately. The reply came fast, explaining the job and sending the address. I would be there for 6 hours, working as security at an abandoned station. I accepted. At 11:50 p.m. the next night, I arrived at the address. The building was old, covered in graffiti and moss. As I approached the entrance, an older officer opened the door. "You must be Greg, the night officer." "Yes, that's me." "Good. Come with me. I'll show you around." As soon as I stepped inside, a damp, suffocating smell filled my lungs. "This will be your room. The kitchen is at the end of the hallway on the left, bathroom on the right. There's a phone on the desk if you need help. I'll be back at 6 a.m. Any questions?" "No, thank you." "Good. Have a nice shift." He left. The silence was immediate and heavy. I entered the room and sat on the bench across from a desk with a phone, papers, and pens. In the center of the desk, there was a single sheet of paper. I picked it up and read. Survival rules. Rule 1. Do not leave the room before 2 a.m., no matter what happens. Even if you hear voices, screams, or familiar sounds, do not open the door. Rule 2. Do not answer the phone. If you answer by accident, say that you hear them and hang up. If nothing happens within 30 minutes, you were lucky. Rule 3. If they call your name, ignore it. Do not respond. Do not look back. Do not let them know you heard. Rule 4. If you need to use the bathroom, ignore the messages on the mirror. When you leave, flush 3 times and say, "Empty and merciful soul." Rule 5. Do not eat anything from the fridge. They don't like it. Rule 6. If the lights go out, sit in a corner and wait for them to come back. Rule 7. Near the end of your shift, someone will pretend to be the man who let you in. Do not believe him. Tell him to leave. If he doesn't, return to the room and lock the door until the real one appears. I didn't take it seriously. I closed the door, sat down, and started reading a book. Sometime later, I heard a strange noise at the end of the hallway. I remembered the rules and ignored it. Then, in the silence, a low voice whispered, "Greg." My body froze, but I pretended not to hear it. A loud knock hit the door, begging to be let in. My heart raced. I stayed still until everything stopped. The phone rang. I almost picked it up, but remembered the rules just in time. I waited until it stopped. That's when I saw someone outside, through the glass window of the room. It was my ex, Clarice. Without thinking, I stood up and opened the door. Clarice? No one was there. I checked my watch. 1:47 a.m. I had broken the first rule. Panicking, I went to the bathroom. Inside the stall, I saw something written above the toilet. "You should be in your room." I shivered. I finished quickly and tried to leave, but the door wouldn't open. On the mirror, another message appeared. "You are going to die." I felt a hand on my shoulder. I turned around in panic, pulling my gun. No one was there. The air grew freezing cold. Suddenly, the door unlocked on its own. I rushed out and past the kitchen. The microwave was on, heating a sandwich. I turned it off and left without touching the food. In the hallway, the lights went out. I tripped and fell. I heard my mother calling my name. She had been dead for 3 years. I crawled into a corner and stayed completely still. Soft music started playing. Children's laughter echoed through the building. I covered my ears until the lights came back on. I ran to the room and locked the door. The phone rang again. I didn't answer. I tried calling the officer who hired me. Straight to voicemail. My phone had no signal anymore. It was 3:30 a.m. Voices and laughter continued. At 4 a.m., I felt someone whisper directly into my ear. I stayed frozen until something threw me out of the chair. I hit the floor hard. Next to me was a blood-covered man, wearing torn clothes, missing one hand, staring at the wall. I backed away. "Who are you?" He didn't respond. "What do you want?" Slowly, he turned his head and looked straight into me, his voice hoarse. "I need to cover you with the veil and take you to him. A sacrifice." He smiled and lunged at me. I ran into the hallway and hid in another room, locking the door behind me. After a while, I heard footsteps. 2 feet appeared beneath the door. "I see you." Violent banging shook the door. I jumped through a window, landing in another room with an old television and a table with 2 chairs. The TV turned on by itself. It showed old footage of a police officer walking through the station, bodies scattered across the floor. At the end, the officer was hanging from a rope, in the same room I was in. The chairs flew toward me, blocking the exit. I smashed a window with my elbow and climbed back into the original room. That's when I heard a familiar voice. It was the officer who hired me. "Finally, we need to leave. There's something very wrong with this place." As he walked closer, he asked, "Wrong? Wrong how?" That's when I realized. I backed away, remembering the final rule. I ran to the door at the end of the hallway. It was locked. The lights went out. I was trapped. Then a whisper froze me in place. "You shouldn't have broken the rules."